Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 3, 2, 1. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, final test. Testing, testing, 3, 2, 1. We're almost there, folks. All right. I think she's good. I think we've got the audio all set up. Hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. I just don't know if the music's too loud or if it's too quiet. It never works the way I want. Okay. Rafterman and Zed here, and well, my newest project is here. I am so excited to start to, I don't know, just show you all the work I've been doing for the last 3 months. Dunedin has been a very, very special project for me. Back in 2016, I spent a few years down there, and that's my home. This is the story of Rafterman and Zed. This is where the username came from, is my time in New Zealand, where I met some of the greatest people on the planet, seen some of the greatest landscapes on the planet, especially the skyscape. That's not a word many people would use, but man, the sky down there, from the Southern Lights to the Milky Way core, freaking amazing. Like, I can't tell you how freaking amazing it is down there. So I really wanted to recreate Dunedin. I've been wanting to do it for years, and Cities Skylines 2 has given me that chance because I can properly honor this city, this peninsula, this part of New Zealand that I feel so passionate about, and I hope it's coming across. So yeah, there's a few people popping up here, so I want to really get going with this and show you what I've been up to. So let me click out of a couple of things and let me show you what I've done. If you have any questions or, you know, there's any notes that you see, I'm always for it, you know? Obviously this map is for me. I mean, I want people to enjoy it, but every part of it is because it's a map that I want to make. It's a map I would want to play on. And if there's any additions, great. If not, you know, there you go. Okay, so without beating around the bush for too much, here I am. Here is Dunedin, New Zealand. Now, I've done a little bit of color correcting already. There's still a little bit of more work to do. This is just a release candidate, so I'm just going to see how it goes for me. But for some people, because of the amount of detailing I have done for this map, they might have a little bit of trouble frame rate wise. So, like, if you just look at just look at your graphics, bring down your view distance. View distance is going to be the main thing if you play this map, because if your computer isn't higher spec, I would probably bring it down, because there is a lot of detail here, and I'm happy to show it. Here we are. Okay, so Dunedin, New Zealand. Here it is. I spent a lot of time just experimenting, trying to find different ways to add a little bit of life to this, because this whole this whole valley is it's developed. Suburbs extend up into the hillside and everything like that. So I have to use a little creative license. I'm a huge fan of historical starts, you know, so I like to make it. What's the word? You know, pre-development, whatever you. New Zealand is, or Dunedin, New Zealand rather, is maybe about 100-something years old. Actually, well over 130, 40 years old. I don't really know exactly when it was founded. So this whole area got developed a very, very long time ago. I don't know what it would have looked like back in the 1800s, but this is my best interpretation, obviously. Obviously, the motorway and the railroads, none of that was there. Obviously, this hillside wasn't mined out and everything, but keep in mind, I'm using real-world height map data, so everything is modern. So, yeah, here's Dunedin. What was another note that I wanted to bring up? Because of the experimental nature of all this. Oh, in the map selection, it says there's only 25% buildable area, which is very, very untrue. I think it's because of the type of detailing work I put into this map that it's registering not so much buildable area, if that makes sense. So if I hope that doesn't scare people when they see that there's only 25% buildable area. There's so much more buildable area than what is portrayed on the stats. Also keep in mind, and I smooth these out, on the hillsides in real life, the suburbs, they go all the way up through these hills. So I hope people can really kind of appreciate that you don't have to build on the flatland. You want to build up into the hills and do your thing. I'm hoping this map will inspire people in a lot of different ways, even though their frame rate might, you know, eat it if they don't set their view distance correctly. There's all these little details I want people to kind of take as inspiration, like the beaches. I sunk in the oak trees so that they would replicate oak trees and palm trees, so that they would replicate type of bushes and fill things in that you would normally see in Oceania. So like these type of ferns, which are actually palm trees, and then they kind of curve over these sand dunes and they start to kind of grow in, and the sand dunes kind of creep through. That's what I really wanted to show with this map. So I hope people like that. That's one of my favorite details. So like over here at this part, you have these sand dunes that just come right on up, and you just get this gorgeous view, you know. And then you have these little like inland lakes, just slightly inland, and you have these beautiful cliffs. One of the Cities Skylines devs commented they loved the Dover look to it, and that's pretty cool. And then you have, like, I tried to detail as far as I could. I don't really know how I transition out to the empty map, but whatever. And then, what else? Then St. Clair, I believe. It's this little settlement that's just on the outskirts of South Dunedin, where you have just this seawall area that really extends out just around this area, and depending on the tide, these waves might be crashing up against the seawall, right? So I wanted to show that. Took a little creative license with this beach over here. Added some rocks to make it look like erosion and things like that. I wish I could create tunnels, because this is Tunnel Beach down here. Gorgeous place. There's a little tunnel that brings you down to a beach down here in real life, but there's only so much you can do with the game, right? Along with these quarries. What else? I mean, you've got Lookout Point up here. I believe that's what it's called. It's been a long time, but I tried to replicate this this interchange, and it was particularly difficult because it's all on a slope right here, and Move It does not work in the editor, so I had to really do it by hand. But I am really, really, really excited to show this map. I don't know how it's going to be received, especially because there may be some performance issues with lower end systems, but I don't care. I like the map. I think it's cool. Other little details, obviously the farmland, the agriculture. I really went all out, and then, of course, the part I really hope people appreciate, the sheep. The sheep. I wanted to add thousands more, but I don't know, that I don't want to melt computers, you know? I don't want to go that crazy with all of it. And then obviously we have some cows. Utterly ridiculous. What else can I show you? One important note that people are probably going to be frustrated with, but I guess we'll see what happens, is in the editor I had to use anarchy for all the trees and everything, especially for the trees that are slightly buried, or you know, because these are all oak trees right here. So I had to use anarchy, which means people are going to have to manually remove the trees. They can't just paint a road through them. I don't know if people are going to understand that. They're going to avoid my readme anyways. They're going to avoid they're going to refuse to read the description. So I'm just going to have to ignore that and just say, well, too bad. But for those who are wonderful humans who actually read things, it won't be a problem at all. You'll just have to right click through the tree brush and remove the trees, and it'll be just fine. Other things people will have to contend with is some of these fences. The fences, they're still experimental, and I'm basically using this map as a test bed for all the different mods that are out there, especially like the I don't know, just the extra assets and stuff that are going through those, and using those through the editor and just seeing how they translate over to the gameplay. So it's probably going to cause some issues. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. And again, we've got the buried bushes that are supposed to be like New Zealand ferns and whatnot. So other things to show everybody. What else we got? What else we got? Okay, we have these rail yards, and this is a really fun feature, is I've got this marina, and again, this is true to real life. I wanted to make the breakwaters with the rock. So these are all props painted in with the line tool, and anarchy. So if you don't have anarchy, it's going to mess things up. I'm just going to put that out there. So hopefully, I'm hoping people realize that they can just easily delete things if they want, and then they can come back. And I want to put these details here to inspire people on parts of the map that they want to build and customize on their own. Because, you know, when you build a map, you kind of want a good starting point of like, ooh, I can do that. Oh, what did he do here? That's kind of a cool idea. And I want this map to mostly serve that purpose. Again, 2 frames per second. So yeah, here is Dunedin. My viewership right now is kind of fluctuating, so I'd like to kind of just wait for more people to join in and explore the map with me and ask questions as I go. It's a little bit hard when there's nobody here, all alone. But So I'll just kind of orbit the map and maybe try to do some scenics. Maybe that's an idea. While I'm waiting for everybody. So we'll try that. Oh, we've got Mount Cargill up here. I was gonna put a communications tower up here because I once got lightning up here, right over this area, under a communications tower, and luckily I didn't get struck by lightning. So, but Mount Cargill, one of my favorite places on the planet. Out on the Otago Peninsula, overlooking, we've got Hooper's Inlet over here. Too bad I couldn't build all the way out there, but that's fine. That's another 30 hours of work right there. What else we got to show you? I don't know. I shouldn't call attention to this, but I wish there were more people here because I really want to kind of do a Q&A with people. Maybe I didn't market this out. This is kind of impromptu, but I would really love to just get real-time reactions from folks on just the different details I'm excited about. I don't know if I have no idea what people are going to enjoy about the map. I just know what I enjoy, so I'm just going off of that, and that's always going to be what I go off of. Some other notes. This particular area, I haven't really detailed it a whole lot. In fact, I don't even have the fences matching colors correctly. I tried, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. I don't think I'm going to detail these any further because, well, I feel like I'm pushing it, to say the least. Maybe I'll just throw in more sheep over here. That might be an idea. Yeah, you know what? So, while we're working on this, let's see what we can do with the photo mode. So we've got the photo mode. What do we want the time to be? Because eventually I'm going to have to get some scenics going. Let's go. Okay, we're going to create a keyframe here a few seconds in. Oh. To delete this keyframe. There we go. Okay, so movement capture key. Ooh, does not like my frame rate on that. Disappointing. Okay, oh, that's 30 seconds. We want 80 seconds worth of shenanigans. We want simulation speed to be about 25, quarter of the actual simulation speed. Let's create a keyframe right about here. Why would it do that? Did the camera tool change a little bit? Hold on. Because that should have given me a lot more. Okay, not bad. Let's change the time of day a little bit to get some nice shadows. I don't know. I'm transitioning straight into some of the camera work because, oh, I forgot to press record. Because, you know, no one's here. It's just me, just messing around, you know, excited by myself. Oh well. keep forgetting things. Let's see, is the animation playing? No, okay. So here we are just exploring Dunedin right now. I'm showing everybody just the things you can expect from this new map of mine. A quick little sneak peek into some of the details you can kind of gravitate towards, and hopefully it serves as inspiration. Even if you don't play on the map, I want people to explore the map and kind of get some ideas of what's possible. Whether or not I'm doing things right or wrong, I don't know. If you like something, take it. If you don't, whatever. So yeah, we're just exploring Dunedin, giving you a taste of what it all is. I hope it's not all choppy, because I'm sure all my resources are going straight to the stream and to rendering this game with all the details, you know. So alright, so let's save that as 1. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna set another pan. This is gonna highlight all of these areas. I love this camera tool, it's so easy to use. Oh man, it's just, I didn't give myself enough buffer, did I? Try it again. So we're flying over South Dunedin. One of the things that people will find is there are abundant water resources in South Dunedin, along with these little ponds and lakes to serve as, I don't know, places for the sheep and the cows to get water. The reason for that is, in real life, South Dunedin is very, very, very prone to flooding because it's actually below sea level. It's a major problem for that part of the city, and I kind of wanted to somehow honor that, make it authentic. It's kind of a shot in the dark, but I wanted to try it, you know? So here we are. Now, if anyone has any questions about any of the details you see on the map, let me know. Some things are still off to... I'm going to reserve the right to change things right now still, because there's a lot of things I'm kind of just like on the fence and doing. So here's what we'll do. Let's do another pan up. So we're going to start at the ocean, and then it's going to take 90 seconds. And then we're gonna pan up by the time we get here. It's probably gonna do it a lot earlier than I anticipate, but we're gonna try it. Let's see what happens with this camera now. Now, if anybody notices any stupid lag, let me know. Oh, yeah, it's a little choppy. That's just me clicking out of the window. I'm gonna have to retry that. I apologize. We're gonna try it again. I just have to not click out of the window, otherwise I'll ruin the recording. So some of the things again that you're looking at are the beaches, which are basically sand dunes accentuated by oak trees and palm trees that are half buried to kind of give it that bushy, filled in feel. The next you're looking at these farms, which have a lot of cultivated like city bushes in rows, kind of mimic you know, planted fields. So they're all buried though, so as I mentioned earlier, people are gonna have to right click and remove them using the tree painter by hand, because anarchy in the editor does not work the way you would hope it would. Not the modder's fault, there's no issue with that. It's just the way I decided to use it to achieve some of the looks I want. It's kind of just the nature of the thing. So I'm not blaming anybody for that. The mod works as intended. It's just me doing things I probably shouldn't be doing with the mod. So, whatever. Look at that. So we're looking over Dunedin, kind of the downtown area. The Octagon would have been to the left. And then out in the distance is Mount Cargill. So what else can we do here? Should I change the time? Let's change the time. The sun is a bit bright though. I'll make it a little cinematic this way. Oh, that's really burning the eyeballs. Let's try this though. Oh, I don't know if the sun position is going to work for the shot I'm trying to get. But we're going to let this play out and see what happens. I don't know, I kind of like it. I also have to move that sun. It's like kind of a really nice shot. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. Once the sun glare gets out of my eyes, I do like the orange glow, the first light type feel. It better not start raining. The precipitation in this game drives me frickin' insane. Let's get rid of that. We're gonna override the precipitation. Okay. So let's move the sun to a more favorable position and see what we get for the camera editor. There we go. It's pretty nice. I wish I could move the camera a little bit to the right without ruining my whole my shot here. Okay. Maybe I'll switch back to the time we had it earlier. I like the shadows. I want a little more light. Okay. Let's go back. Better. Let's see how the frame rate goes with the breakwaters here. Alright, well, cool. Just wanted to do a couple of things like that. One last thing before I end the stream is I'm just going to show some of the resources. So, where is it? So, we've got tons of ore near the quarries. Quarries here. Speckled with a little bit of oil here and there. Then, of course, we have tons of wood. And we'll check out some of the water sources. Like I said, South Dunedin has a lot of water. And finally, obviously the fertile land is, well, plentiful. So, I don't know. Something to see. Would accentuate some of the hills and whatnot over here. Like I think the map is personally very gorgeous. I like it. We'll have to see how the frame rate goes for people. I don't have high hopes. That's kind of the takeaway from when you do a map like this. One thing I can do if I want to make a lighter version for people is just get rid of all the farm details. And over here, over by the marina, is something I'd have to do as well. So I'm not quite sure when I'm going to release the map. There's a lot of things I still want to do. In terms of testing, and I have to create the cinematics for the release, so we will get there soon, very soon, probably within the next month. I'm going to release the map. I don't plan on doing a whole lot of testing with the map because after you work on a project for 3 months, nearly every other night, you're kind of tired of it by that point, and you're like, all right, time to move on to another project. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I already know what issues people are going to have, and it's primarily with the trees needing to be manually removed. Again, that's with the tree painter and right-clicking to remove the trees instead of just drawing a road through it. This is because of anarchy in the editor, not a mod issue. Finally, other issues people are going to have are frame rate related. No way around that. But I don't know. I'm really excited just because of the amount of detail in this map. If anything, people can just come in and use the map as a benchmark. So that if other map makers out here are looking to do the type of things I'm doing in terms of detailing, they can look at it and say, well, this is what happens when you put too many things in a map, you know? So, I don't mind. Yeah, I'm real excited. It feels right. it's kind of in a stage now where I'm just like, yeah, this is how it feels. I'm gonna pull up the overlay though to kind of show what IRL looks like, what the actual area looks like in scale. So right now the overlay is popping up, it's loading, so hold on. Okay, so before I close this out, here is the screenshot or the overlay of what Dunedin actually looks like. So you've got South Dunedin here, which is all just grid layer kind of stuff. So it's been like that forever. I used it as a rough guide to the city. So you can just see how some of the farm lines kind of go along where some of the roads would go. I kind of picked out roads that I think are kind of higher traffic type areas you would expect to go east from west, west to east kind of thing. Another thing to note, and I hope people pick up on this, is the city isn't just flat land. These suburbs extend far into the hillside, and they just kind of grow out that way. So I tried to follow and respect the suburb lines, right? The different types of things that influence the shape of your city. So I wanted the trees to kind of encourage the player to build around them, to honor the rifts and the ridges, the valleys, everything, because that's really what's going to make a city look good, is just respecting the topography, you know? So one thing I wanted to add in as an Easter egg was the octagon. Unfortunately, it just didn't look good without the full context. People might just think it's just some weird thing I did. So it's there, it's just not something I'm really gonna put in. Other things, I was gonna make a seawall similar to this one, kind of extend around this as well, but that ended up being a lot of work. I might still maybe put some rocks in there, but I think my solution to the buried oak trees as like a wetland kind of thing was a good solution, so I'm gonna go with that. Hopefully people don't find the mines, the quarries, sorry, too annoying, but they're there. What else? What else should I show you with the overlay? We've got some golf courses up here, so I kind of kept the trees over here as kind of a, just to kind of make it look like something's there. I just respected the tree line again. Maybe I could put a golf course here if I wanted, but that's more detailed than I think people would really need or want. So you can also see that these sand dunes and the vegetation, I replicated it pretty dang close, which helped in that feeling of authenticity, you know? So I feel like replicating nature is the best way to doing any kind of starting map build, is because it's just really hard to make that stuff up for yourself, you know? So yeah, that's Dunedin, and it's a, you know, it's not a small city. Well, it's a small city, but like it's not a tiny city. We've also got North Dunedin over here. So again, I tried to keep the trees in some kind of fashion because I didn't want to completely span the trees, because I've already done that. But I thought about putting farm property lines out here, but that ended up being unnecessary. Plus, I don't want to distract from the erosion lines on the hillside, because it really adds a lot of depth to the map that I wanted to, especially at like different times of the day, that these shadows really give you when putting in a map. So that's kind of the thought process behind that. And then I originally was gonna put a lot of bush, like buried oak trees and or whatever, to kind of fill this area in, but I realized this texture does that good enough, the texture in the terrain. By texture I mean like the little little divots, because if I do any more, man, yeah, then I'm already overboard with the detailing, and people's computers might melt. But any more than that, and my computer might melt. And then I dotted some of these reservoirs out here, and I kind of like those touches because these reservoirs, they're very useful to have, and it's kind of a realistic take on some things too. Did I do that one? Yeah, I did that one too. Yeah. Thanks, Picana. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm hoping it's really received well, because I have put a lot of work into this map. Like, I don't know, it would be a shame to see it flop. So I don't think it's going to live up to Black Dragon Canyon. The timing was perfect on that map by design. But yeah, I hope you can appreciate though. Well, a little bit of the cows, but also the sheep. I originally spammed the sheep spawners so that there were thousands of sheep, but that was a... I have to have limits, you know. I have to let people do their thing, because otherwise it would be utterly, forgive the pun for the cows, unplayable. I was gonna dot them around the hillside as well, but that was gonna be kind of tough to do. So I had to exercise a little bit of restraint. And by a little bit of restraint, I mean it's a little bit compared to the amount of craziness I went through on this map. So what else? What else? Oh, so what people might find also more frustrating too, and they need better bulldozer, otherwise they're not going to be able to play this map. They're going to have weird things happen. They're going to want these surfaces. Actually, I haven't tested this yet. Oh, yes, okay. Spaces filter. There's all these hang around areas that are going to have all these spawners for cows and things. Actually, sub-elements. Here we go. Okay, so the markers are what's going to allow people to... Can they actually remove the spawners? Yes, they can. Okay. So they're going to have to figure that out on their own. I create a tutorial for it to keep, you know, to help people remove the things on the map, the details, but they're not going to look at it. They're not going to read it. Hell, people with Black Dragon Canyon asked me very... Whoa. Interesting. I just broke the map. Okay. Okay, so they're going to have to toggle this on and off, because evidently when you use the line tool, even if it says there's a conflict, it's still going to paint it in. That's kind of interesting. Huh. So these trees still exist. I wonder what that does to my performance. But anyways, oh. Okay, yeah, we're good. Alright, so what did you ask here, Akana? Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too worried about the actual receiving of the map, because my mantra with any of these projects is I'm not really making these maps for anybody but me. Like, I'm trying to make a map that I would enjoy playing on, and of course it would be awesome to see people enjoy the map as well. But at the end of the day, like, it's still my map. It's like, it's something that I just like to do. So, although I do like good feedback when it comes, though, because I'm sure there's lots to pick apart on this map. So, either way, these fences are going to be problematic for people too, because when you make fences, they don't retain their where are they? Their colors. They just kind of do their own thing. Is this extra assets? I know I have the net lanes. Okay, that's what I was looking for. God, The mods are really just getting cool. I think it's industrial. It's not that one though. Oh, here it is. Does the mod keep the same color? No, it doesn't. Yeah, I hope that's something they fix in the future. Okay, what else we got here to show? But yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have any questions about the map? Anything they'd like to see? Here's an overview I don't think I've given quite yet. This is the Otago Peninsula. I put a lot of effort into one of the big details of the actual harbor, the Otago Harbor, is the dredging, and this particular area, tides are everything. So I just imagine the water in real life just kind of pushes and pulls and brings all this sediment back and forth, especially with this river. And then in real life, so that ships can get into the harbor, especially right here, they have it dredged out. And so I tried to replicate this whole dredge area. Generally, the bigger ships are gonna park right here at what is that harbor called? Why did I forget what it's called? Man, now I mean, there's the Otago Harbor, but what is... Oh man, Port Chalmers. Why did I forget that? I spent so much time photographing Port Chalmers. So anyways, this is Port Chalmers, all the cruise ships and major, like, I don't know, just ships taking all the timber, because it's a very wood and ore, kind of the main resources here, and then gold in the somewhere in Otago as well. But yeah, they'll go through this area, and some ships that have lighter drafts, I think, if I have that term correct, will actually park up here. And then this little detail right here, in real life, you've got I think it's like a hazardous material type berth. So like, I would say natural gas or oil or anything like that. It's going to dock here, obviously, to give it a little bit of space and safety and all that stuff. So oh, Picana. Okay, so there's an asset variation mod? I might go find that and dig that out, because right here, I created these fences, right? But they've all got different colors, and I might go back in to go fix it. But it's a real pain in the ass, because if you want to make a curve, you've got to end the net lane. And then the net lane with elevation doesn't exactly play nice. So if I, for example, if I make a net lane that spans a lot of terrain, it's going to straighten out. So if you see left by the measurement boxes, it's not going to contour unless I keep it pretty dang close. So that's a huge pain. So you have to create it in small. And then the other thing is, roads don't exactly go through the net lanes as you would hope. So yeah, anarchy. Actually, maybe this is a good chance to show what's going to happen when people take this map without anarchy. So all of these trees here, so specifically these oak trees, for example. Ooh, does this actually push it up? No. They have retained their anarchy status. I do not have anarchy enabled at the moment, but you will have to manually remove the trees if you play on it. So see how it just goes straight through. It's a real shame. The mod works as intended. It's just what I'm doing. So you will have to just open up still out of track. You'll just have to open up the tree painter and remove the trees before you put things in. It's a small inconvenience, in my opinion. But here, let me kind of show. I kind of want to give a compare and contrast here. So let's see what we got. I'm gonna have to pull open a browser. Okay. Is it showing my desktop? No, I don't think it is. Oh, that's a pain. I was gonna at least try to show. I want to show Dunedin the way it is. Hang on, let's try this again. What's the game capture? We're gonna go desktop. Yeah, I can easily do this. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Nope. I'll try one more thing and then I'll get back to the map here. Clearly that's not gonna work either. Yeah, something broke in OBS Studio, so that kind of sucks. Wagers, hopefully I've said your name correctly. Well, like, Line Tool has the asset variation, right? But when you're creating net lanes, I don't think that would fix the issue that I'm particularly referencing. Specifically, like, alright, so this is a node, and then there's another node over here, and then obviously you saw it change. So that's something I'm trying to work on fixing. Yeah, the Twitch stream, I've been having issues multi-streaming. I haven't spent a whole lot of time trying to solve that issue. Oh, okay, okay. What's up? What's up, Harbor Master? Yeah, I didn't know it was you. Yeah, I wish the Twitch stream... I think there's an issue between... Twitch has a higher restriction in terms of what their bit rates are, and I hate that. So I can't stream at the higher resolutions and whatnot for both YouTube and Twitch. So that kind of sucks. But what I was trying to do was I was trying to bring up my desktop again. Oh, I'm breaking things. Yeah, so this should get me my Internet Explorer. Look, nope, okay, that's not working either. Damn. I'm gonna try one more thing. I kind of wanted to give people a little bit more of a context as to what we're looking at here. Oh, here we go. I think I got it. Fit to screen. Here we go. Okay, so I wanted to go to Google Maps here. I wanted to show people what Dunedin actually looks like. It's kind of a... Oh, not that Dunedin. Alright. So this is Dunedin in all its glory. Oh, do I not get the 3D view? Brutal. Well, that sucks. That's definitely not what I wanted to try. Okay, I apologize. Let's try a different window. Yeah, that's a bad idea. Anyways, instead of showing Dunedin what it actually looks like, we'll just kind of do it like this then. Oh boy. What have I done? Stand by. I have completely broken OBS. There we go. Okay, we are back. Apologies. So, what else can I show everybody other than the sheep and the farms? Now that there's a few more people here, I can revisit the resources. So we've got water resources. How's the wind doing? I might change that in the future. So, yeah. Okay, good. Thanks for checking that out manually. So you'll see that the actual Dunedin obviously isn't farmland. It's an urban area. But what I wanted to do with part of the map is keep a lot of things authentic, including the resources. So for water, and this is kind of an Easter egg, at least for those who know the area very well, is South Dunedin is very prone to flooding. It is below sea level, and so I wanted to kind of add a lot of resources down here for water. It's not a huge detail, it's just something I wanted to do, just to kind of, I don't know, feel authentic. For the resources, obviously there's a lot of wood, but there's land fertility like crazy. I tried to make it less so on the hillside. It kind of looks cool. It's not really any purpose to do that. Oil is just kind of scattered, probably too much oil, but I wanted to give people options that they could use. And then obviously we've got ore resources along the quarries, up in the hills. I could probably add some over here too, but I don't really see a point. So yeah. And then we'll pull up the overlay again. So again, Dunedin is a very heavily urbanized area, but I am a huge fan of historical starts, of things like that. Other than the motorway that cuts through, I want people to kind of feel like they're going to grow into these farms. I was going to make the map tiles custom, but it's just unstable. I've had issues with the game just crashing as I'm trying to make these the borders I want them to have. So Dunedin actually has an actual castle, and it is actually ruins. So I think it's Cargill Castle? I'm not sure. I don't remember the name of it. So I decided to put it where it actually is in real life. Maybe I should make... So that's kind of a fun Easter egg that I hope... I don't know. If you know the area, you would know it. But if you don't, you'll just see a piece of ruin and be like, why is that there? Other things I'm actually kind of proud of is the road headed out into the into the harbor. Now it's a little higher than it should be, I think. It would be closer to the water in real life, but that was just going to create a bunch of issues that I don't have the patience to correct. So I'm just kind of leaving it that way. It's just, you know, people can do their own thing and enjoy it the way they want. Along with this road way up here, kind of just extends out. But if you go on Google Maps and you go to Street View, I'm sure there's something that in like a location like this. And what's really cool is I know the area so well, and I'm just looking at this, and it just blows me away how similar, how believable it is to what the actual Dunedin looks like from this vantage point. So that's really freaking cool. People who are looking into the map's details a little bit more, they're gonna see some leftover road lines from the actual height map data, the LiDAR. I smooth a lot of it out, especially in the city. But out here, I think I'm gonna leave them because, well, I don't know. I guess you could kind of stretch your mind to add it as part of the map there. I don't know if it really adds to an air of incompleteness. It's just more of a pain in the ass to remove, if I'm honest, but it's also something you can kind of use as reference. So let's see, what are those roads actually doing? Yeah, this is like a little pathway, and this road goes all the way down here, go down the coast, and then it just kind of drops off down here. So let's see what else. Thanks, Buchanan. Appreciate you. Oh, some other details is the vegetation falling down the cliffs. That was a nice little thing I started doing just to kind of fill in the cliffs and make them feel alive. Because you can just imagine water carrying down seeds or something like that, and water dripping down here and helping facilitate the growth. These cliffs are very windswept. So that's something people should keep in mind is, one of the things I did was I buried these trees to make them shorter with Anarchy, to make them shorter because there aren't tall trees on this side of the map, or in real life over here, because they're all just getting blown around by the wind all the time. One thing that's probably going to happen. Ooh. Oh yeah. I haven't checked out Chair's new map yet. I'll have to reach out to him and see how his project's doing, because he was the trees he was placing down were I don't really know Chair that well. Looked really good with the topography, and I was kind of jealous of that. So hold on. One thing I struggled with, and this might be fixed in an update, but the trees, if I don't have the elevation lock enabled correctly in the editor when I place them, if I don't change that, they're gonna reset. So these trees, when I placed them, I didn't have the elevation lock. I kind of wish that was on by default for Anarchy, but I'm not gonna bother yin yang about that. But that's just something for about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, when I placed down all of these trees to make them look like bushes, I didn't know about the elevation lock setting, which sucked because I had to go back in and replace all of this a second time. The rest of these trees, I haven't fixed with the elevation lock. I'm not going to, because it's less of an issue if somebody draws a line through them and they reset. They're gonna have to remove them anyways if they want to put a road through them. Oh yeah, I'm sure you've seen our conversations on that. I don't know how much of that is I don't want to say restricted, but like in confidence. But yeah, I ended up replacing the bushes like 2 or 3 times over here, but in the end it actually helped me out because I did a couple of extra new things. So here's one thing I wanted to point out that I was pointing out to some closer friends is, in real life there's this road that extends all the way out here. There's like some bunkers. I kind of miss the Cities Skylines 1 bunkers because I would have put them here, but there's this road that comes all the way out here. I taught photography, like a little basic photography class when I was there, and I brought them all right here to this little overlook, I think. Or no, it was right over here in the middle of the night. At the end of the class, I would always bring people on a field trip. And so I brought them out here in the middle of the night, and we'd all walk all the way down this little rift down to this beach. and then we'd all kind of precariously walk around. And this is bringing back memories. And I would teach them how to do longer exposures right here, especially if there were a risk for like southern or lights. Not a risk, but like a possibility. Because you'd be able to see them all in the upper third of your screen here, if you're lucky enough. So what I'm really, I don't know, it's just a cool detail, is I have climbed up this sand dune so many times to try to get cool photos, dodging seals, because I've had a few chase me over here. But the sand dune exists in this map that I made, and is pretty damn close to what my mind remembers. And I don't know, just, I'm so passionate about this map. It brings me back so many memories of my time in New Zealand for a few years, and just the small little places that really mean a lot to me, especially that spot. Without going too much into a tangent, if anybody wants to know if you ever go to Dunedin for whatever crazy ass reason, where is it? I think it's down here. Down this little valley, or rift, yeah. Right back here, in real life, there's a little path that gets you into this little ridge, and it's free. There aren't any gates. It's just those who are in the know. So anybody who sees this video, you can see glowworms on the walls. So if you go at like 1 a.m., turn off your headlamps, your torches, and let the glowworms do their thing. Let your eyes adjust, and the whole like rift side will be just illuminated with glowworms. It's so freaking cool. Not many people know about this spot. It's kind of a well-kept secret. It's not highly advertised, which is good, because you don't want to kill all those glowworms, because I don't know, it's a very special spot. So yeah, so that's Dunedin. Any other details? And you've got Mount Cargill up here. This is the tallest mountain here. Overlooks pretty much everything. You can, in real life, you can drive all the way up here. So that's pretty cool. And you've got a view of the city down here. It's pretty cool. I have this massive forested area over here in case somebody just wants an absolute beast of a timber industry. And I thought about detailing all these little open spaces, but I found it pretty unnecessary, if I'm honest, because I realized pretty early on that these open spaces actually help the feel of the map, because you don't want to clutter up the terrain texture. And by texture, I mean the little bumps and the ridges in the map. So some of the things I did to get those is I changed the brush to, what was it Mountain Brush 4? No. There's another brush. Mesa, Triangle, Noise. So this one? No. It must have been it was a mountain brush, but you can actually create these little spots to give your mountains texture, because the game has very smooth grass textures, which I absolutely freaking hate, because they get smooth and reflective, and it just doesn't look right. So is it the peak brush? Mesa brush? I can't remember which brush it was, because it had little isolated specks that at lower sensitivities for the brush you could use. This one, the mountain brush. So what I would usually do is increase the brush size, decrease the strength, and just add these little indents everywhere, and that will get you a nice textury looking uneven surface to kind of give your map more of a depth feel to it, especially when you've got shadows. It kind of looks like grassy, rolling hills kind of thing. Because obviously this area, it's all suburbs, so using the height map data and for the trees, none of it was useful. It was all just smooth, and I had to smooth out the roads from the LiDAR data. And after I smoothed it out, it just looked stupid. So I added texture using the mountain brush. So if you end up doing a map like this, or any kind of map with varying topography, or even flat maps would probably benefit from this, is just using the mountains brush and just giving it a very, very light touch everywhere. And I think that helps a lot. Ooh, good idea, man. The fire embers VFX. I wonder actually. Let's. Right now, the game map in the editor keeps opening up in fall, which I'm so tired of that doing because it just messes up the aesthetic for a little bit. I still have to set the climate settings. Apparently there's a workaround to actually get them to work the right way, but those have been broken, and I think they're waiting to update those. I think they're waiting to get the climate settings going when they get actual themes set up. So one can only imagine how long that's going to take, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I think so. I think they were the. Hang on, let me. Harrington. It's been like 6 years since I've lived there. I don't know which ones they were. No, I think the Harrington Point gun emplacements. Yeah, those were inland. So the ones I was flying around, those were over here. So the Harrington gun emplacements are on the other side. So these gun emplacements look on the east coast. Harrington gun emplacement is, I think, they're actually way out here. Because after World War II, I believe this area turned into a military base. Because, yeah, because they were worried about the Japanese invading Dunedin, which was an interesting thing. There's also like a retractable gun that they still have up here. I don't know if it's the original one, but you can tour it and they'll actually retract it and elevate it again. And then there's like the abandoned bunkers over here somewhere too. But those bunkers have been there for a very long time because, well, it's an easily defensible position. Because any ships that go through, you could just easily pick off, and you're pretty well protected right here as a gun emplacement. Because who's gonna get you from up here, you know? So, anyways, that's if that answers your question. What was I gonna do though? Oh, the VFX that you're talking about. I wanted to try that. All these trees are. I think the seasonal changes are probably gonna absolutely destroy people's computers, but I guess we'll see. Also, one extra details. I'm setting the map start date to July 2016, because that's when I was down there. So I don't know. It's a personal Easter egg. Okay, so the fire embers. Let's see. I'm curious. People are going to be confused as to why, but maybe. Actually, you know what? Let's try this. Oh, I can't line these. Okay. Ooh, that was a really good idea. Can I change the colors, do you think? I mean, the thing about that is someone's going to look at this and be like, what the fuck? But I don't know. It'll be an Easter egg that people will have to figure out on their own. Especially if you know what's over here. That's a really good idea. How does it look during the day anyways? People are going to think there's a giant fire right here. Okay, I wonder... I can't set the color. Otherwise, I'd make them blue. Oh, I see, yeah. Oh, well, then that's a bummer to show the markers then. Because basically, if people do show markers on Anarchy, it's gonna, they're gonna see a lot of things that I probably did in incorrect ways. What is happening with these? So what sucks though is, okay, for some reason the map in the editor's always going to start up in fall. So if I do that and then I load the map up, oh, I'll stop right here real quick though, is right now it only shows that there's 24% buildable area, which is obviously very untrue. I think it's because of the extra detailing. I wonder if when you place a surface down, if it removes that buildable area. I don't know what else is impacting the buildable area, if it's trees or what, but there's way more than 24%. I hope people don't have a hissy fit about that. Not sure what you mean by the tree transform containers in game. Like if you show the markers, I mean obviously it's not going to show those, but if you show in the Anarchy, if you show, what is it, the markers, you're actually going to see all the line tool stuff I did. So evidently if you throw in the line tool and it says cannot place because there's something in the way, it's still gonna place them, because what I did was I would make these gaps for these bushes to create some variation in the property lines, and I would just paint it in just to keep things aligned, and it has that unintended side effect, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, autumn. It's been a while since I've been down there. I like to just say it's fall because we're falling into winter and it's gonna be cold. Well, I guess this retained the summer look to it though. That's good. Also, I caught a lot of flack for this on Kayakor and CS1, but my trailers had right-hand traffic. And they're gonna stay that way. For one, because all my guardrails are right hand. When you do left hand traffic, the guardrails flip sides, or the quays, or the keys, which I don't know why they do. I don't know why the keys would change sides, but whatever. My brain is just too used to right hand traffic when I'm creating stuff, so I just don't even bother. Do I still have one of these? Debug overlay 4. Sorry, my brain was still moving. in lots of different ways. Yeah, good point, Bob. Yeah, so when I moved to Dunedin for a little bit, I tried playing Cities Skylines with left-hand traffic, and that didn't go well for my brain. My brain just did not like it. It's like IRL, at work I have to use Nikon cameras, my personal gear Canon cameras. I have to switch the batteries on the not batteries, but the controls on the Nikon cameras, because going back and forth it's not productive for me. But yeah, I'm really excited just how the topography came out on this map. Some players might think it's restrictive in terms of building, but I don't think so. I think it's exactly the way it needs to be, and people can terraform all they want. I don't mind. So I mean, like Tunnel Beach down there, man, I wish I could really detail that the way I want it, but I can't. So I'm really excited to start getting cinematics put together for this map in anticipation for release. It's going to take a lot of time. It's still another 6 to 8 hour project for that. I think this time I'm going to do a voiceover for the actual highlight of the map, kind of like I did for the video for the Cities Skylines channel, because this map, the whole idea behind it is to just bring it all home. I wanted to honor my time in Dunedin with just a beautiful map. I wanted to really make it feel... I just wanted to, you know, just revisit some good memories, you know? So... Alright, I don't really know what else to kind of point out. If anybody has any questions, comments, now's the time to kind of ask them before I start to wrap this up. I don't know if I spent a whole lot of time at the marina down here while there was a few people here, but if you have any ideas. What's up, Toby? I haven't seen you in a while. But yeah, if anybody has any thoughts and questions, go for it. Otherwise, maybe I'll just start kind of doing some more cinematics. Possibly. Go with that hazy look. It's gonna trip the camera out when I do that. Oops. Sometimes I tell you. Thanks, Toby. Oh, you're saying for the pedestrian piers? What do you suggest? Because there might be, are you saying just using different assets? Because I was thinking about using a different thing for the shipping pier that's a little further up the way. Because, I don't know, it kind of stands out in some weird ways. Like, I like it as is, but there might be better looks to it. And yeah, Toby, I'm going to put it up on the PDX Mods after I start finalizing some other things. There's going to be a lot of notes on this map. Why are those clouds are going nuts? There's going to be a lot of notes on some of the quirks with this map, because there's a lot of quirks that hopefully people are kind to me about. Yeah, my go-to for these piers or the little marina docks has just been using the pedestrian paths as kind of like a stand-in. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the current state of mods and stuff. I'm kind of abusing all the mods that are out there just to kind of see what you can do with them in the editor. But the trees, you're gonna have to use the tree brush to remove them manually in certain instances. So if you draw a road through a bunch of the trees, they're not gonna disappear. They retain their anarchy status because they were placed with anarchy in the map editor. So you'll just have to remove the trees by hand if you want to develop into a forest or something, which is really easy to do. It's just kind of unfortunate on that, but that's just because of what I personally have been doing in terms of my detailing. Because I also like anarchy can help you get thicker forestry and trees closer together, and that's kind of the big idea. I don't know what I want to do with this next shot. I don't know if that's going to work the way I hoped it would. Carport 01. Yeah, the asset editor is still a good ways away. I think you'll have to wait a long time for that. Although people are releasing assets already with some mods that they're already doing. Just you won't get the editor, and I believe the asset editor from some of the leaked versions, I think. It's very versatile. So if you guys have seen what Sully's been doing, even without the editor, just placing like storefronts and things like that as small assets. So think, what is that roller coaster game by Paradox? It's kind of turning into that pretty quickly, which is phenomenal. Mid-August. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, so they can't import, like, I see. Well, at least not yet. The people who, yeah. But yeah, this is what I was talking about here, is this pier for like hazardous, like it's a hazardous material dock kind of thing. It stands out in some weird ways, and I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, if I'm perfectly honest, but I might just leave it there. Oh, I messed that up. Okay. Let's try it again. Ooh. Oof. There we go. Holy crap, that's a lot of assets. I'm concerned about loading times when assets become a thing, because I know the decals kind of add a lot, and right now my biggest frustration is with loading the game with mods, because if you've loaded any other application between playthroughs and then you load Cities Skylines, they don't sync until you disable your playset, re-enable your playset, and then restart the game. And at least for me, so that's a massive pain. I haven't used the water scale change yet. When I do the cinematic soon, I might try that. So I have no clue why those clouds are absolutely hauling ass, but whatever. I'd like to be able to set the cloud speed. Yeah, they're hauling ass. I wanted to add the water decals. I wanted to add water decals and then the water or the beach surfaces to the map, but I also don't want to make people download a lot of things for my map, because Karakura and CS1, there were so many things that started breaking that I'm just like, I don't want to do that to people. I'd like to, you know, it'd be kind of cool to see in these passing lanes, the broken yellows. It'd be kind of cool to see cars try to pass each other. Yeah, Alyssa. Man. Alright, so before I moved to New Zealand, I had a friend that I was talking to, and I'm like, man, Auckland looks really gorgeous. He's like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I actually thought about it. And then I looked at the central business district just being on this narrow piece of land with these motorways just kind of snaking through it in some crazy ass ways. And then I started thinking about how much of a pain in the ass it is. Granted, it should be more of a walking city anyways. I only spent a little bit of time in Auckland, but yeah. Yeah, Toby, I know they're aware of the mod sync issue. So I'm just hoping that gets fixed, because there's a few things they've just kind of left go. Prefab assets is most likely that you can only load one asset per frame in the little menu. I feel like, I hope there's going to be some good solutions to asset loading, because being just an asset whore, for lack of a better term, is something I was very guilty of. Like just having 10,000 assets for my map builds. Not that I'm going to use every single one, but I never know when I'm going to use every single one. And so that's obviously going to be a problem when things happen. So I'm trying. I will give them a lot of credit. Vanilla CS2 gets me there in a way. It's just like, yeah, I can make realistic, fun things with it. I'm glad this guy's taking a right turn to go use this lookout point interchange. Now I wish Move It worked in the editor, because then I could fix these strange bumps and stuff. Thanks for stopping by, Penderosa. Thanks for taking a look, and yeah, you'll definitely see more screenshots. I'm going to throw them on Reddit when I'm ready to release too, and I'm going to really make some really pretty screenshots. Definitely the cinematics, if I can get the frame rate to play nice. Probably have to accelerate some stuff. Thanks, Toby, on the plants. Yeah, burying those palm trees to make them look like ferns and stuff was something that I was really proud of doing. Oh, that's a tight turn. Turn left or right? I'm super... Oh. Yikes. That was a weird turn. Anyways, I feel like they're also wanting to gauge what higher poly counts are going to do to the game. Because I imagine some modders are probably going to make cars that have like an absolute metric shit ton of polygons that are just going to ruin computers. Well, so on the note of, wow, that's gorgeous. I didn't realize what this was. That's a screenshot there. Oh, thank you. Here, let me just, how's that? That's a lot better. That's actually gorgeous. Anyways, thanks for the heads up. That kind of sucks that it's only going to be building assets. This is super mesmerizing. Yeah, I would have liked to see more plants, but I do remember this coming up during one of the betas, which was because of the seasonal changes with plants and all that stuff. Apparently making trees and foliage and everything is going to be a lot more difficult for modders than it was in CS1. Because they've got to deal with all the seasons and whatnot. Is there going to be another car that comes through here? I kind of want to follow that one. Oh, I don't want to follow a bus. Oh, there he is. I wanted this guy. It's kind of fun just to see what the map looks like from a car. Alright, so one thing I hope some modder comes up with is there is an auto exposure type thing with the game that even when you're in photo mode, it doesn't really matter. So it's like some kind of HDR. So you're looking down here, it's a darker area, and then you look up and it exposes for the sky. Now it exposes for the terrain. Sky, terrain. I want to figure out how to adjust that because it's messing with my screenshots. Oh yeah, trees dance. They definitely dance like crazy. Especially some of the bushes or some of the buried trees that are supposed to look like bushes. They really kind of flop around quite a bit. I am quite saddened by their pace of things when it comes to major support for a lot of stuff, because I think it's also pushing back like the the content creator packs that they have for assets. But I understand. Personally, I think the game's in an amazing state, but that's just me. I'm a bit of a fanboy for Cities Skylines. Put like thousands of hours into these 2 games. But yeah, like I get their pace. It is a bummer though to not be able to see that until later this year, but you know, it's been a journey for them, and I'm starting to see general sentiment change. Except for the console players. Forgive me if you're a console player, but holy crap, they won't shut up about, even when they answer it in the dev blogs. Everybody, all the console players just pester them about any more information about consoles, and I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, I'm sure the patch is going to be really nice. I wanted to get the majority of my map all configured before the patch. These are some scenic drives, holy crap. But yeah, I wanted to get a lot of my map done before the patch, so the last few days I've been really hitting it hard. And I've got a vacation coming up, so I've got plenty of time to hash away at some of the finer details of the map. I don't know, but I think Yin Yang was gonna fix some things on the tree color settings, because I'd really love to change the tree color, because the pine trees are a little too light green for me. He's gonna go south. Yeah, the free upgrade, the upgrades being able to be placed a little more liberally on buildings is welcome. I wonder if that also means upgrades, like being able to delete upgrades. So if you need more space, why'd you turn right? I was trying to follow you down the valley. Where's Fabius? I don't know what that is. This hill is a beast. Yeah, so what I'm kind of also doing now is, while I'm enjoying these scenics and doing it as part of the stream, it also helps me pick out some small issues with the map, like in details that might pop up, because I've published maps before and seen like a hole that I missed or something like that, which that sucks when it happens. Okay, yeah, because I haven't read into their dev updates too deeply, especially when it comes to deleting upgrades and stuff. So that's pretty nice. I mean, that's an idea. It was like with rocks, specifically with like boulders, I would disable the vertical orientation button and leave it all random. I don't know if I do it with like trees though, because you might have logs sticking up in weird ways, but. I mean, that 4-week summer vacation being it mandatory, yeah, like I wish we had that. I've been working at my job for 6 years, and finally, after about 5 years, you get 15 days of paid leave instead of 10. So I'm enjoying it now, but it sucks that I have to work there for 5 years straight. But yeah, I really think they did a good job with this game, if I'm honest. Like, simulation-wise, it has issues, but this game scales so much better than CS1. And the photo mode and everything, like, I think we're gonna get there. I think people just had crazy expectations. What was I gonna say though? Oh, you know what I wish? So every tree is just they're just static log with the tree, right? I wish there was a specific tree, so like how you have bushes that one is like a city bush, one is like a wild bush. I wish you had wild trees and then like a city tree. So the wild trees, it would be cool if they had foliage at the bottom of the tree, so that you could kind of start to fill in the forest a little bit, so it's just not a straight log sticking out of the ground. But I guess their initial intent was to have foliage sprites anyways, but I wish those would... I don't know if they're ever going to do those, if they're ever going to finish that, but it'd be kind of cool if they did. Yeah, I'm all for letting people take big breaks, though. Like, people need to... They need to take work off, man, because you're not going to be able to do anything productive if you're just being worked bare to the bone, you know? Oh, that's where that other quarry was. I couldn't find it when I was putting down the resources. Okay, anyways, so I forgot where it was. No, this one I'm just using, I think right now I've got default grass textures, but I've changed the dirt and the cliff textures to one of the packs that are already available. I forget which one it is, though. I mean, that's a good point, though. If you're from Norway, you better value those summers. That's the best time for you to get outside. Actually, funny you say that. You're from Norway. One of my closest friends that I met in New Zealand, she and her boyfriend moved to Norway a year or two ago, and they've been living there ever since. So, if you run into a short Singaporean gal, and her name is Dana, you might know an American who pretends he's a Kiwi, who knows that person. These hills are actually kind of turning out in a cool way. So we can do a nice reveal. Go through the trees? I think so. Oh my. You know what's crazy? So you're talking like Northern Hemisphere, closer to the Arctic Circle kind of thing, right? But what's crazy is I found out when I moved to New Zealand that, what is it? Latitude? I'm really bad at geography sometimes, but New Zealand is actually on the same opposite latitude as, say, Alaska. Right? Latitude is, where is it? Yeah, it's horizontal. Anyways, it's like equivalent. So it's about as close to the South Pole as Alaska is to the North Pole. But because of the currents, so specifically I think the currents coming from like the Philippines and Australia and all that, New Zealand is pretty temperate. So think like the UK and all these areas. Especially Dunedin. Dunedin gets a lot of sea breezes, which comes from the ocean, from the Pacific, which is colder because of the Antarctic. But it's just kind of crazy that to think that Alaska just being much colder than New Zealand, but in terms of like the relative closeness to the poles being exactly the same, they're vastly different climates. Yeah, I should pay more attention to the Scandinavian countries and all that stuff. I think I got that right. And their climates and how those are doing these days. I still kind of want to make Norway at some point in a map or something. It's just getting that LiDAR data compiled was too much of a task. So I settled for Dunedin because everything else is just going to be a massive pain in the ass. New Zealand in the last couple of years has been much hotter than usual, as far as I'm aware. Because typically their temperature ranges are between 0 degrees Celsius and 25, so like Dunedin would be around 0 to 25. In Fahrenheit, that's between 32 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's winter down there right now, so they've had some cold snaps though. They've had like what, negative 5 to 10 degrees Celsius in this area, which is pretty damn cold for at least Dunedin. When you go further inland towards the Otago Peninsula, it gets to like they'll frequently see like negative 15 Celsius. Because they'll get a bunch of snow up that way and whatnot, just because of the elevation and further away from the ocean kind of thing. But yeah, their summers have been getting hot. Like they've seen 35 degrees Celsius days, which that's pretty hot for these areas. I suppose it depends on what parts of Norway. I don't know much about the climate exactly in Norway, but I would imagine that the coastal areas are probably a little bit more temperate, and then once you get inland, it just gets stupid cold. But New Zealand is just temperate all around. So most places in the winter, the coldest it'll get is like 0 Celsius. Whereas I think Norway probably sees temperatures much colder, depending on what side you're on. Because I think inland New Zealand, so like Otago, the kind of like the highlands out there, they might be closer to Norway in some small ways because it's more of a continental climate out there than it is like a coastal. I guess I'll have to look up exactly what the biome is up in Norway. Because I could be completely wrong. I just know that there's way more snow in Norway than there is anywhere in New Zealand. The place that gets, I think, the most... Is he doing... Oh, weird. I think the place that gets the most snow in New Zealand is probably like Lake Tekapo and over by Mount Cook and stuff. just because they're high plains up into Alps kind of climate. Yeah, so, but no, you bring up a good point about coasts. I wonder if the coasts in Norway just are generally more temperate, because that's kind of like Western Canada, right? The parts that border the Pacific Ocean, they're very temperate. You generally won't see major snowstorms up that way, and they warm up faster than, say, like Minnesota in the U.S., which is just freaking cold. Yeah, I wish I could detail these areas that transition into water a little bit more into like breakwaters with like rocks and stuff, but I don't think I'd be able to achieve that without absolutely devastating computers and whatnot. But these hillsides are looking really nice. I think there have been more thunderstorms up that way too, up by Norway. Like, you guys don't typically get very violent thunderstorms. Like, I storm chased, so yesterday, so I live in Colorado now, and there's some pretty crazy severe weather that happens every summer. And so we're just getting into severe weather season, and we had, just north of me, it was like baseball size hail. And it basically covered the ground like snow. Parts of Denver got like probably up to like 6 inches of hail. Oh yeah, the European climate compared to like Southern Pacific is vastly different, I would say. There's just so many different competing climates and things like that, especially with currents and stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna start wrapping up here, but does anybody have any requests on what they want to see on the map? I'm not sure what else I want to do. I'm gonna brainstorm a couple of things in the future, but this is basically how the map's gonna shape up to be for the most part right now. So, but yeah, I'm really excited about these beaches. When I do play this map on my own, I might actually add those wave decals and whatnot. But I'm real excited for a lot of this because it just looks pretty sick. Why are these clouds going so fast? Can I set that? No, I can't. Okay. Thanks, Toby. Yeah, I can't wait to release this and deal with the flood of complaints about frame rate, but like, I don't mind. I just wanted to do all sorts of stuff with this map and see what I could push the engine on doing. I do really like how Highway 1 just like carves through these hills here. So. I might make a video of me building on it. I don't know. When I do some of the gameplay and stuff, I end up not really doing anything with the content I record, just because if you record for 5 hours, you're probably gonna have like 8 at least another 5 hours of editing, if not 8 or more, which I don't always have the time to do, which kind of sucks. I'd love to just like lean into this heavily and do this all the time, but half the time you just want to play the game and let it rip. I'm a huge fan of just doing screenshots and compilations though, so maybe I'll just do fast forward videos and kind of leave it at that. The tidal difference? You mean so like what it looks like at high tide? Yeah, I might live stream in the future. I go through so many builds where I start something and then I just like stop working on it because life gets in the way. So live streaming is always tricky because people might be like, what happened in this project? But if I understand your question about tides, in real life, the tide sometimes will come this low, right? It might be a little bit lower than what it should be. But then other times, especially at high tide and if there's a storm coming in, water will come up to these breakwaters here and then also crash over over the breakwaters here. Actually, here's what I'll do. Did I get before I wrap up, let's go. Did I? Oops. No, I had it going. Desktop. Application. Window capture. Okay, we are gonna go Microsoft Edge. Transform. I'm gonna fit it to the screen. So you're talking about title differences. Oh, okay. Oh, so my solution to that, my solution to the tide and just what it would look like on the flat map was to just, anywhere that had water, was to just lower the terrain. What's going on over there? Was to lower the terrain and then smooth it out. So like the actual, I don't know how deep this actually is right now, but I had to hand sculpt out all the water. It kind of messed with me for a little bit because, let's see if I can pull out. Did I fill it up with bushes? I think I did. There are some cliff lines where there's like a massive void. So like kind of down here, some of the tidal stuff would kind of just mess with me, and that's kind of something here too. Like the LiDAR data gets a little goofy with some of these cliffs, and specifically for like the actual sea level, I had to, that was part of my whole conversion process, was to actually hash out the water the way I wanted it to. Custom assets with the floating component. It'd be kind of cool if there was like damage effects to cars that crash and stuff. A little bit of drama on the stream. I thought there were going to be like tow trucks or something for these. Once upon a time. That actually looks scenic as hell. That's pretty cool. Anyways, what I was actually going to show up was Dunedin. So this is all my footage from over the years. So I have to skip back a little bit. Here we go. So this area... Why is the quality so terrible? Wild. Okay, so this is that beach, right? So the beach we were just looking at St. Clair, this is how high the water will get during storms, and it'll actually crash over these breakwaters. And I'm not using DLSS. I honestly don't like it. I just use the full-on TAA, and I just go balls to the wall. But that's because my system generally can handle it pretty well. But I might actually have to enable it for this map, for DLSS. But yeah, these are the breakwaters that I replicated in the map. You could just see how it just gets nuts. I ended up breaking my camera for this one because the salt water really fucked up. But this is South Dunedin. So earlier in the stream, I noted that South Dunedin floods because it's below sea level. And this is exactly what happened. So that year, an ex-tropical cyclone hit Dunedin, or New Zealand, head-on. So it was just a crap load of moisture. So it led to flooding in Dunedin, and then specifically the worst hit was Mosgiel, which is in the valley that you can see from the map that I've created. So yeah, this was all the B-roll from that storm. Where's another thing I could show you? And then up by Lookout Point. So this is again Dunedin. There was a fire kind of on the other side. There's all these timber industries for logging and everything. And there was just a giant fire that took out all these areas. It's a big old forest fire. And this was 6 years ago. Cheers, Toby. Appreciate you. What else we got? So this is the view from Mount Cargill. So it'd be really cool to replicate this in game. I think I can at some point. But actually, here, let's do this. I'm in the mood for shenanigans. Okay, let's go. Should I use volumetric clouds or fog? How low can I get these clouds? Not very low. Okay, so I'm gonna have to use the fog. Dang. Maybe my map is just too low. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Okay. I wish I could. If anybody's ever played Flight Simulator 2020, you could create layers of cloud. You could specify how many you wanted, which is very useful for doing things like this. You could have this fog layer, and then you could add another fog layer to deal with the distance fog. Close enough, right? Honestly, I don't hate it. Cool. That's friggin' neat. Alright. Oh boy, I messed up all the fog. Oh, that's kind of neat though. Spooky. Whoa, that just totally changes the scale and how it feels. Being absolutely lost. I wonder. What's it look like at night? Does the fog disappear? Whoa. Nope. That's pretty dope. I didn't realize the fog looked this cool. It's the first time I've ever messed with the fog. That's pretty neat. Okay. Alright. Let's leave this on a good note here. Alright folks, well, I'm gonna start to pack this up. Thank you so much for popping in and chatting with me about my map. I am super excited to release this map in the coming weeks. There's still a lot of work yet to do, especially when it comes to different presentation type things, but either way, it's been months in the making, a lot of crashes, a lot of restarting things, but I didn't think I'd get to this stage, so I'm excited for what's going to come in the next couple of weeks. So other than that, again, thank you very much for taking a look through my map with me. And yeah, until next time, I'm Rafterman and Zed. Cheers.